name's Hydo, and welcome to the Pantheon, where today we're having a look at one of the brand new 2021 commanders, and it's sort of a side-graded Talrand. I think it could be potentially better. It's Deekah, Fractal Theorist, who weighs in at 5 mana, which is steep because as soon as she hits the field, we want to get a bit of advantage from her. But what advantage are we going to get? So, she has Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, create a 0/0 green and blue fractal creature token. Put X/1/1 counters on it, where X is that spell's mana value. Pay 4, target creature token can't be blocked this turn. So this is a nice bit of evasion. You know, Talrand does make flying tokens, but our commander can give evasion. But we can have the possibility of having really large tokens. Finally, our commander is a 3/3, but let's be honest, the likelihood of us getting into combat is very, very slim. This is just a value engine that we want to sit around and just create a bunch of tokens. So, without further ado, let's have a look at the top 5 cards. Coming in at number 5, we have Archmage Emeritus. 4 mana for a 2/2. Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant sorcery spell, draw a card. So the main thing we want to be doing in this deck is throwing a bunch of instant sorceries around. And what better thing to do than take advantage of that and draw cards? So what sort of instant sorcery cards are we going to be playing? The main thing I think we should be concentrating on is control. We want to be able to stop our opponents so they build up a board state and then punish them with a big sort of swing. But what if our opponents aren't doing anything? These 3 cards are perfect for this situation. If our opponents do something, okay, we'll counter it. Please stop doing that. I don't like it. If they're not doing anything, okay, I'll draw a bunch of cards, dig deeper, find something else to do with my next couple of turns. Supreme Will, 3 mana for an instant. Choose one. Counter target spell unless its controller pays 3. Or look at the top 4 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand and the rest on your library in any order. Excellent bit of selection. Thassa's Intervention, and also that'll make you a 3/3 with our commander. Nice. Thassa's Intervention, double blue and X. Choose one. Look at the top X cards of your library, put 2 of them into your hand, and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Random order. Counter target spell unless its controller pays X. Twice. So, with this, we can pay, say, 6 mana into it. We dig really deep into our deck, or definitely counter a spell, and we get an 8/8 token with our commander. Good. Archmage's Charm, 3 mana for an instant. You can either choose counter target spell, target player draws 2 cards, or gain control of target non-land Sol Ring. Really, really powerful. All 3 of these excellent and work really well with our control sort of theme. Cryptic Command is the big daddy of this sort of thing. 4 mana for an instant. Choose 2. Counter target spell. Return target permanent to its owner's hand. Tap all creatures in opponent's control. Or draw a card. Excellent, excellent. And all of these work really well with effects like God Eternal Kefnet. 4 mana for a 4/5 with flying. You may reveal the first card you draw each turn as you draw it. Whenever you reveal an instant or sorcery spell, copy that card and you may cast that copy. The copy costs 2 less to cast. So, with all of these, when you reveal a counter spell, that's not that great because you can't get that much advantage. But with all 4 of these cards we just talked about, we could potentially get value through other things, which is very important. And the flexibility I really, really like. Burrell, Chief of Compliance, 2 mana for a 1/3. Instant sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less. Really good, nice reduction. And whenever a spell or ability you control counters a spell, you may draw a card and discard a card. Again, getting some value off countering the spells if you're not getting the value from the other sides of the spells. Brings me on to number 4. Talrand. So, I started this by saying, this is a slightly different sort of Talrand take, and it is. But this sort of deck always wants redundancy, and it wants multiple of the same effect. We want to be creating tokens whenever we cast an instant sorcery. Talrand, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, put a 2/2 blue drake with flying onto the field. It is a 2/2. So we're going to get a ton of value, create an absolute massive army. To go along with that, Docent of Perfection is a 5 mana 4/4 with flying. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, put a 1/1 blue a human wizard creature token on the battlefield. Then, if you control 3 or more wizards, flip it. It flips into Final Iteration, which is an Eldrazi insect. Great creature type. That's flying, and wizards you control get +2/+1 and have flying. And also the same text. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery, get a 1/1. Finally, Murmuring Mystics, 4 mana for a 1/5. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery, make a 1/1 blue flying creature token. All of these work great and can really power out a large army through us just casting spells. Brings us on to number 3. Herald of the Secret Streams is a really fascinating card. And it works perfectly in the deck as the tokens that our commander makes are going to have 1/1 counters on it. So, I talked earlier that a commander can give evasion, but this gives everything that we create an evasion. 4 mana for a 2/3. Creature you control with a 1/1 counter on it can't be blocked. So we build up a massive army, drop this guy, just swing in for lethal. To go along with this, here's a couple of other ways we could use the 1/1 counter sort of sub-theme. Sage of Fables is a 3 mana 2/2. Each other wizard creature you control comes into play with an additional 1/1 counter on it. So, nice little sort of wizard tribal synergy. And you can pay 2, remove a 1/1 counter from a creature you control, draw a card. So this is brilliant. We can just leave up our mana for our counter spells. If our opponents don't do anything, remove a bunch of counters from our tokens, draw a bunch of cards, refill their hand. Very nice. Skatewing Spy, 4 mana for a 2/3 with Adapt, so that's 6 mana and Adapt 2. So if it has no 1/1 counters on it, you can put 2 1/1 counters on it for 6 mana. And each creature you control with a 1/1 counter on it has flying. Again, lovely bit of evasion. Finally, Nadir Kraken. It isn't a +1/+1 counter sort of lord, but it does help create a large army. Whenever you draw a card, you may pay 1. If you do, put a 1/1 counter on it and create a 1/1 tentacle creature token. This can get out of hand, especially with any big draw spells that we might be casting at instant speed. Takes us smoothly onto number 2. Now, the base power and toughness of the creatures created with our commander is 0/0, but they have tokens on them, or counters on them. So, with Sakashima's Will, which is a 4 mana sorcery, choose one. If you control commanders you cast this, choose both. Target opponent chooses a creature they control, you gain control of it. Nice bit of value, but that's not the main reason we want to play it. Choose a creature you control. Each other creature you control becomes a copy of that creature until end of turn. So, if we've got a massive army of all of our 0/0s, if we choose something that's, say, a 4/4, all of our, 0/0s will become 4/4s with the counters still on them. So, they'll be massive, and we can just swing in for massive damage. Really cool card. The artwork's... I don't like the artwork, to be quite honest. I hate the sort of faded thing. I just think it looks... Yeah, I just don't like it. To go along with it, here's a couple of other ways that we can boost up the power and toughness and stuff. Heraldic Banner, 3 mana. When it comes in, choose a colour. We're going to choose blue. You could choose green for the fractal tokens, but they're also blue. Creatures you control get +1 of the chosen colour. So this is a nice little buff, and it's also a mana rock because it taps for 1 mana of any colour. Oh, of the colour you choose, sorry. Then Octavia Living Thesis is a 10 mana 8/8 Elemental Octopus. The spell costs 8 less to cast if you have 8 or more instant sorcery cards in your graveyard. So, likely it is we're playing a bunch of removal and stuff like that. They're all instant sorceries. And we're going to get to that 8 cards in there. He has Ward 8, so counter any spell that targets him unless your opponent plays 8. And then it has Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant sorcery spell, target creature has base power and toughness 8/8 until end of turn. So our dudes are going to be absolutely colossal with Octavia on the field. Phantasmal Form, 3 mana for an instant. Till end of turn, up to 2 target creatures each gain base power and toughness 3/3, gain flying, and become blue illusions in addition to their other colours and types. Draw a card. So we make a 3/3 with our commander, and also 2 of our things get buffed. Essentially, this is +6/+6, evasion, make a 3/3, and draw a card, all on 1 card. Really, really powerful effects. Which brings me on to number 1. Giga Drowse. So, Magecraft works on not just casting spells, but also copying them. And Giga Drowse is a 1 mana instant, tap target permanent. It also has Replicate, which means when you play this spell, copy it for each time you paid its Replicate cost. You may choose new targets for the copies. This is incredible. Say we leave all of our mana up. We got 10 mana. So we go to our opponent's end step, or the last opponent on the turn cycle's upkeep. They untap. We cast Giga Draft for 10, tap all of their lands. We make 10 1/1s. Pure value. But this is just a fantastic, fantastic card in this deck. It just works so, so powerful. An army out of nowhere, and we've completely iced an opponent out. To go with this, Replicate is really cool. Train of Thought, 2 mana for sorcery, Replicate for 2, draw a card. So we can refill our hand. 10 mana gets us 5 cards and 5 2/2s. Really powerful. Vacuumelt is a 3 mana sorcery with Replicate for 3. Return target creature to its owner's hand. So 9 mana, bounce 3 creatures, get 3 3/3s. Pretty good. I'd play that sort of card. Brain Freeze, Storm is absolutely fantastic with this because it's Storm puts a copy of the spell onto the stack. Brain Freeze, 2 mana, instant. Target player puts top 3 cards of his or library into his graveyard. Storm. Wonderful. We're going to make an absolute boatload of tokens. Then, finally, if you want to go infinite and make an absolutely colossal army, Icon Scepter, Dramatic Reversal. Dramatic Reversal, 2 mana instant, untap all non-land permanents you control. Icon Scepter, artifact with imprint. When it enters the battlefield, you may exile an instant card with converted mana cost 2 or less. Coincidentally, Dramatic Reversal is converted mana cost 2. And you can pay 2, tap it. You may copy the exiled card. If you do, the cast's copy without paying its mana cost. So, if you have a mana rock or multiple mana rocks that tap for at least 3 mana or 2 mana, you can infinitely Dramatic Reversal because you tap Icon Scepter to cast Dramatic Reversal. Dramatic Reversal untaps Icon Scepter. And if you've got mana rocks that make them 2 mana, you can just do that over and over again. So we end up with a massive army. We can do this at the end step or, in our turn. And then we can swing in for lethal. Or, if you want to cast absolutely everything in your deck, Mind's Desire is a 6 mana sorcery, shuffle your library, then exile the top card of your library. Until end of turn, you may play that card without paying its mana cost. Storm. So if we've got an absolutely massive storm count, we're going to cast our entire library, probably cast some draw spells, kill ourselves. But if you're playing Labman, or, the Jace, 4 mana Jace, I can't remember his name. If you draw a card and you have no cards, you win the game. Possibly that's a direction you could go down. And those are my top 5 cards for this brand new commander. I really like it. It's a cool little, sort of synergistic deck. There's a couple of interesting cards you can put into the deck. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed it, please subscribe and like. And I'll see you soon when I do more of these videos. Bye.